Hi, welcome to BariNation, where we support the bariatric community with humor, humility, and honesty.
You've just tuned into a podcast that welcomes you into a community, a resource center, and a safe place that powers your journey towards personal wellness.
Our goal is you leave us today feeling hopeful, inspired, and ready to live your best bariatric life.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the BariNation podcast. I am thrilled to be sharing the screen today with three amazing members of our BariNation support community. January 1, we kicked off this crazy thing called the 100-Day Pillars Challenge. We have 4 pillars in BariNation. They're movement, mindset, metabolic wellness, and community. And we wanted to spend our first 100 days of this year really diving deep into those pillars. What are they and how do we live them in our lives? You're hearing this podcast on the day that our challenge is actually wrapping up. But I wanted to sit down with members of our community to understand what they really are taking away from this challenge. Because when we launched it, people were like, you're crazy. 100 days? Most people stop doing a challenge within the first week or two. But we really wanted to lean into curiosity this year, and we wanted to see what it would be like to commit to something for 100 days. And the ladies that are sharing my screen today have done exactly that. So we're going to dive into this episode, and you're going to hear what they learned from the challenge, why they decided to participate, and really what they're carrying forward with it through the next, not only 100 days, but really this entire year. So I'm going to turn the microphone over to them so they can quickly introduce themselves, and then we're going to get right into the questions. Cece, my friend, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure thing. I'm Cece from New Hampshire. I had lap band in 2009 and a revision to RNY in 2023, just celebrated 2 years. And hard to believe I'm here.
Not hard to believe. You've been working hard, and it is showing.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Cece. Sherry, go for it.
I'm Sherry in Long Beach, California. I had VSG in November of 2022. And I dove right into BariNation. I found them very quickly after surgery, and it has made all the difference. And I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh, we're thrilled to be featuring you today. Miss Christine.
Hello, everyone. I'm Christine, and I'm 4 years post-op from lap band surgery. I was an early member of BariNation. It came into existence about almost a year from my surgery date, and I was the first person to buy an annual membership, not knowing if it would be around for 2 months or 200 years, but I hope it's the... Well,
and we're going strong now. I think we're definitely on year 3 at this point.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, my friends, let's get into it. The first question I'd like to ask you is, why did you decide to join this crazy thing called the 100-Day Pillar Challenge? Cece, we'll start with you.
I joined it to challenge myself and really learn more about my bariatric life and supporting it, but also experiencing and learning about things that I didn't know would help support my bariatric life in a nutshell.
Awesome.
I came into it needing consistency. I was the person that you mentioned at the top that would go hard for 2 weeks, and then I'd get comfortable, and then I'd slack off. And I just kind of wanted to have an accountability to myself that this challenge offered.
Yeah. Our kind of theme word direction of the year is curiosity. And we really challenged our community to lean into that curiosity and say, what would it be like if you did stick with something for 100 days? So appreciate you saying that. Christine?
Well, I originally started doing it to make sure that April uploaded it every day. Which we've only had 2 instances where there was a delay and we catch it because I'm on East Coast time and she's on West Coast time. But I think really the greatest thing about it is that there is so much noise out in the world regarding metabolic wellness. And we have all had to deal with decades of changing information and having to deal with the shame and stigma of having a metabolic disorder and obesity as a result of that metabolic disorder, that having that point in the the day that you can, and I do it first thing in the morning, is to have some silence around a topic that we can just spend even 5 minutes thinking about and reading about and then engaging with the community about. That really has been the special part for me.
Yeah. We often talk about this in BariNation. There is a lot of noise out there and everybody is given some kinds of different instructions. And there's just so much to listen to or take in, and it can be overwhelming. And when we just take a moment to pause, start our day in BariNation, focus on the things that we know are most important, which are our pillars, and then utilize that to kind of power our day forward and then check in with one another as we wrap up our day, it can be one of the most powerful things that we do along our journey. All right. Next thing I want to know, what has been kind of the biggest aha moment during this challenge? What is the thing that you were like, that absolutely is something new to me, or that is something that was maybe a missing piece to my journey where I am today? Cece, we'll start with you.
Definitely the gut health, especially everything that I was going through. It really surprised me how much the gut health feeds into your emotions, how it controls your emotions. And I truly believe the medical establishment still does not understand enough of what's going on with our gut health. And the information that you put in was just, I've bookmarked all of it because it's so important to me. I love it. So I have it so I can reread it and, keep getting little bits out of it every time.
Oh, that's awesome. And I think what I'd like to share with you, if you're watching, you are watching or you're listening, the goal of the 100-Day Challenge was we wanted to present kind of tiny bite-sized nuggets of information. So every morning when you log into BariNation, there was a new day of kind of micro learning. So this is just some days a 1-minute thing, maybe a 5-minute piece of information to give you a little bit of a taste of what we were talking about that week. And then we often linked our members out to research studies or articles if they wanted to dive a little bit further. But the goal was every morning you were getting this little nugget of wisdom that's connected to our pillars that you could utilize. And clearly, as Cece said, it really gets our minds thinking more deeply about how we live these pillars. How do we really focus on our metabolic wellness and not just the number on the scale? And I appreciate you also saying that, Cece. In our community, you have the ability to bookmark information so you can quickly find it. Just a powerful tool that exists in there. Awesome. Sherry, what about you?
For me, I love journals. So the guided journals, the daily journals were amazing. And January 11th broke me in half. And the question was, am I okay with living one pillar a day? And the answer was no. If you look, I'm a psycho. I'm And I'm such a perfectionist and I want to plow through things. I mean, literally, I made it's so ridiculous, but it was such an amazing learning, slow down, stop, take stock, assess and adjust what your body's really needing, what your mind work is really needing. And you don't have to plow through to check all the boxes. Like the Bari checklist for the first, I had to stop because I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. I would sit bolt upright in bed and be like, I didn't do the checklist. And so I was crazy. And then, like I said, January 11th, I really just sat with that uncomfortableness of let's just do one thing at a time today. And it's okay. It's okay.
Wow.
I get emotional about it because you guys know I've been struggling with this for years, that perfectionist spirit. So I was really just happy to stop and really focus on my wellness, my whole wellness, one step at a time. So that's kind of that was my big aha, is it's okay to just check one box today.
Yeah. I really appreciate you saying that. I think all of us on the screen, I know, and many of us listening or watching are resonating with that. If we're going to do something, we're going to do it completely. And that can throw us off more than it helps us. So what a powerful moment for you. Awesome.
Yeah.
Christine?
Definitely the ultra processed food section, because that really taps into gut microbiome and the things that are happening in our world that are presented as something that is beneficial for us from a weight loss perspective is probably not the best thing for our whole person digestive system, the ability to process energy effectively, and not have us on this roller coaster of trying to restrict. Like, let's find the thing that we can eat the most of at the least amount of calories. So ultra processed foods were a big thing. It's something that I've been kind of like looking at, but not paying enough attention to. So I definitely have seen that as those sections were rolling out, those are things that I've been able to implement little spots in my life. It doesn't have to be a wholesale reframe. It's just incorporating one thing at a time. The other thing is, like, I'm not a daily journaler. That's just not me. I write everything down, handwritten in notes, but I'm not a journaler. And I just had to allow myself to do the daily reading and not feel as if I had to do all the components. The components are there in order for people to do what they're most comfortable with, not to pressure anyone to do it all. So for a while, I was doing the Bari Good Day checklist. I check off that I read the prompts, but I didn't actually do them. But I did do the daily engagement and then marked as complete. And getting through that for 100 days and not going through it and doing something, all in or nothing, but being able to do what you're getting the most benefit out of was really, really eye-opening.
Yeah. Again, thank you for saying that. We want to provide our members with all of the tools or with tools that could help. But our job is to present you with a menu of support, and you get to choose what is going to work best for you that day, that week, or in this season of your journey, right? So if journaling works for you now, awesome. Those are there. If it doesn't, that's okay. There are ways that you can participate that make sense for you and that are meaningful for you. Awesome. All right. The last thing that I would love to know is, what are you really taking with you? What are you bringing into the next 100 days, the rest of this year? Or maybe something has really clicked that you're going to carry with you for the rest of your life. Cece, we'll start with you.
Well, my second aha moment was that app that for checking on food. And it just, it made me cry because it blew my mind.
Right?
That's the Nova app?
Yes. And I'm like, wow, I thought I was being good, but maybe I need to look in more of the processed foods that I do eat, and, what alternatives can I do in place of that? Or, if I can't do it all the time, that's okay too. I'm not going to say, no, I'm never going to eat them again, but at least be aware of what is in them and, make maybe better decisions for my gut health. And when I'm using any processed foods, what will work for me and what I shouldn't, not eat. Because my Fairlife milk that my protein shake that I drink, I found out it had gluten in it. And I was blown away because I'm going to be going on a special diet for my GERD, and gluten is one thing I need to remove out of my diet for that short period of time for elimination. And I was like, this has gluten? So it blew me away. But I would have never known it had I not used that app that you, Grace, told us about. So, So I am going to be doing that down the road, really paying attention more and trying to do more whole foods for my health, for my well-being.
Yep. Wonderful. And again, right, the point of this is to present education, right, vetted education to our members so that you can make it the decision that's right for you. This is not about saying this is good or bad. This is about saying, let's understand what goes into the foods that we're eating. And then once you know more, you can make different decisions that are aligned to your values. And that's perfectly, like, that's the goal of all of this. So that excites me to know that that's one of the things you're carrying forward. Awesome. Sherry, what about you?
I think I'm going to really just be patient with myself. The imposter week was a really, like I said, I love the head work part of this. That was kind of what I really dove into in the challenge, was the head work, right? And the imposter week was really phenomenal. And I realized I'm really impatient because I want results immediately. And that's when my imposter shows up. That's when I shut down. That's when I quit. And I wrote down my mirror, because the other one was obviously the gut health. Like I was stunned. I started scanning everything because I told you I'm a psycho. And I found the same thing. I'm like, I'm never eating this again. But what I need to do is stop swinging that pendulum to the extremes and sit in the knowing that this is a moment, right? Not a movement. It's just a moment. And I can be patient with myself with whatever's coming up in that moment. I can eat food that fuels me and not fools me. Right? Because I've been eating, you can have it. We'll make a t-shirt, but I'm serious. Like, I wrote that on my mirror: eat food that fuels me, not fools me. And like I said, my head work is that I don't have to vilify food anymore. I don't have to put them in these compartments or have these extreme responses to them. I can simply figure out how they make my body function better and lean into that. And then at the same time, make my mind match my action.
Oh my, you just broke my brain.
Happy to do so.
Amazing. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Christine.
So 100 days of anything can really feel daunting. But guess what? The 100 days are going to happen anyway. Are you worth the investment of time of just a few minutes a day to devote to yourself and your wellness? And can you do it on repeat? I'm a media marketing professional by training, and I know that people have to hear a message, good or bad, 3 or more times for it to really start to sink in. And it was definitely concerning when we launched this. Would people be able to make it through, or would they just shut down because they felt like they were falling behind? This is not something that you have to keep up with the crowd. You can do it on your time. And some way or another, we are going to put this as on-demand access education that you can tap into anytime, because you were worth whatever time you submit to it, because 100 days is going to happen. Make the 100 days work for you.
Couldn't have
we
said
got
it
another
better myself.
265 days to go of the year. There's a lot of amazing things that you can do with those 265 days.
Yep. We are going to live these days no matter what. And when we launched this 100-day challenge, that was our mentality. These days are going to happen. How can we make them just a little bit more exciting, educational? How can we present moments in our community for people to connect on a deeper level, safe places to ask these questions, and, as we say, to connect, learn, and grow from one another and the experts? So we're just thrilled that the challenge did exactly that. And your stories, your testimony to really what you've done in your first 100 days of this year is amazing. You guys inspire me every day. You inspire everybody in, out, and around BariNation. And I just want to thank you for truly being the best part of this. I have enjoyed learning right alongside with you. If you would like to get to know these ladies more, join them in BariNation. They are very active members of our community. You'll see them in support groups, classes, and meetups on the feed, and they're excited to connect with you as well. You can just visit us at barination.mn.co. All right, my friends, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been awesome. See you in the nation. Bye, friends.
Bye.
That wraps up another empowering episode of the BariNation podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, keep the conversation going by joining the BariNation membership community, where you can attend live support events, access on-demand resources, and find a caring community.
Join us at barination.mn.co. If you found this podcast valuable, help us produce it by becoming a $5 monthly supporter at barinationpodcast.com.
And just remember, at the end of the day, you've got this, we've got you, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.